I just want to make a short video to tell you about the Mueller probe and the ongoing investigation. I'm sticking with my story. If you watch my earlier video or the first video I posted, I'm telling you that Mueller has been flipped and he's working with Trump. I don't know if he's been working with him like from the get-go or if somehow they flipped him from the uranium one deal. You can read about that. I think that was the first thing they went after because it had to do with nuclear material leaving the country. And he was the bag man. So people say that he was involved in that deal. I think that's the first thing they went after with the Justice Department. I think Sessions did it probably in the first week he was appointed. And I think they got to Mueller quick and they flipped him. And now this investigation, I think they were baited into the whole thing, honestly. And all the media I read just wants to make this look terrible. They're trying to make this look really bad on Trump. And I just can't see it. I mean, the guy was like a wizard. He came out of nowhere and won the election, and it's like every dirt that they threw at him bounced off him and stuck to the person throwing it. And it seems weird that Hollywood wants to teach everybody about their morals, and now they're getting outed as a bunch of like rapists and stuff. No trial's been happening, so they're still innocent in my mind, but there's a lot of evidence against them right now. And the fact that they're all stepping down at the same time looks weird. Same thing with the news. The news wanted to say, hey, this other stuff's all fake. And now they got branded themselves as fake news. How did that happen? It just seems weird. So this is the story of the day right here for me. It's on a very conservative website. So if you're a liberal-leaning person, this may seem a little unpalpable. And I agree to a certain extent. The only reason why I go to this website is because they were so correct during the election. I didn't know about this site until the election. I didn't believe half of what they were saying. I didn't want to. And they were right about everything they said. So I come here and I check this site once a day as the conservative side. I also check a couple liberal, I guess more liberal, like Washington Post, links off the Drudge Report. But this says that Trump's got a good reason to worry about the investigation of this bank. Now, Flynn flipped, became a witness, but he pleaded to like this really, really small crime. And the Trump investigation, or the Trump team still wasn't implicated in this stuff because it didn't look like they did anything wrong after he won the election. So that kind of like flew back in their face quick. And that one guy on ABC, Brian Ross, was forced to retract his statement, say he was a liar, and he got 4 weeks unpaid suspension. I mean, this is weird how this stuff works out. So I'm to the point now where I just think whatever they're telling you, it's the exact opposite somehow. It's saying that he's got a legal risk because he's been connected to this scandal-prone German bank. And down here, it says that his son's tied to the bank. Kushner's tied to this bank. It says he got $4 billion in loan commitments. And it says it could provide investigators with a roadmap of his business connections to various investors and institutions. Now, this is crazy. Think about this. Imagine if 15, 20 years ago, Trump saw something he didn't like. Maybe he saw some corruption at a high level and decided to go get involved with all these banks. And he himself didn't do anything illegal, but if they ever go look at his connections to the banks, they'll investigate the banks then, and then they'll find all sorts of stuff. So it's almost like he's giving them breadcrumbs to the bad people, saying, look, follow me over here, follow me over here. And then when they go look at this bank, they're going to find all kinds of weird corruption stuff. Now, this is a very powerful bank in Germany, this Deutsche Bank, I think I'm saying that right. Talks about having conflicts of interest that maybe he doesn't even know about. Talks about Russian ties, which is, it's always a good dog whistle to get people to start paying attention. But it says that right here. It says, but their long list of misdeeds may prove troublesome for Trump. The bank has been involved in nearly every scandal that has rocked the financial world in recent years, from toxic mortgage lending to interest rate rigging to illegal tax shelters to its dealing with Enron. Remember Enron? To violating sanctions against doing, I guess that means business, doing business with countries such as Iran, who was the recipient of the Iranian nuke deal where they got like, what, $400 million in cash that we don't know what happened to, and they still got to continue their program. Many of these scandals resulted in legal penalties, eventually the bank's reputation in tatters, and bank regulators, unhappy with the bank's handling of its internal investigations into allegations of wrongdoing, its top executives were forced to resign. It's widely considered to have a culture of rule bending and rule breaking. So here's what I think. I think that Trump got control of this investigation early. I think that he took the Russian thing. It just seems so odd that this is just totally flipped. I can tell it's flipped. I've read enough that none of this adds up. It all seems to be pointing in a different direction. There's like 4,300 sealed indictments that were opened in November. In the nation, usually there's 1,000 per year. That seems weird. So this just doesn't add up. And I think that Trump has set these people up. I think he got control of Mueller early by flipping him for some crime on the Uranium One deal. And now he's cleaning house. And he just keeps saying, yeah, follow me, go investigate, go wherever you want, look around. And I bet he feels really confident that he hasn't done anything wrong, because he doesn't seem nervous or worried. If you go look at the interviews he's doing right now with reporters asking him about this stuff, he takes the opportunities to totally point at somebody else. It's insane. Like, you think, man, they got him. And then he's like, hey, check my Twitter out. Did you know that somebody was murdered in Joe Scarborough's office back in 2001? Did you know that? And did you know that he resigned from Congress? And also that there was no autopsy report, or no time of death on the autopsy report? And so it's like the stuff bubbles up. We all scream at Trump, and then Trump feels so confident that he tells us to go look at something else. And I mean, you could say that's misdirection, but the things that he's directing people to have happened. There's no middle ground there. It's just like, it did happen, so go read about it. And then it just becomes, I don't know. Like I said, I think that Mueller is working for Trump at this point, and I think that they're going after all these crooked people. And he's saying, go ahead, investigate. Go look at all of my business dealings. And when you look at my business dealings, go look at the people I did business with. I didn't do anything wrong, but they did. And they did other stuff that you're not trying me for. And this is, go look at the last video I did, the first one. Because Sessions is, like, Mueller's just handing over information to Sessions and the Justice Department. And then they immediately indict these people or investigate. It's happening. You can't read it on Breitbart. You can't read it on Washington Post or the New York Times. But if you go read some other sources, this is where it points. So that's my video. I will post another one tomorrow when another one comes out. But I think that this somehow, the fact that they're investigating Deutsche Bank, who was involved in all these other scandals, this is a huge thing. It's huge. You will not understand how big this is until a year from now or 3 months from now, but this is enormous. So keep paying attention. Keep reading the news, man. Hope this helps.